जय जय गिरिबर राज किशोरी, जय महेश मुख चंद चकोरी, जय गज बदन षडानन माता, जगत जननी दामिनी दुति गाथा, नहीं तव आदि मध्य अवसाना, अमित प्रभाव वेदु नहीं जाना, भव भव विभव पराभव कारिणि, विश्व विमोहनि स्वबस विहारिणि, पति देवता सुतीय महु, मातु प्रथम तवरेख, महिमा अमित न सकहि कहि, सहस शारदा शेष, सेवत तोहि सुलभ फलचारी, सेवत तोहि सुलभ फलचारी, वरदायनी पुरारी पियारी, वरदायनी पुरारी पियारी, देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुर नर मुनि सब होहि सुखारे, सुर नर मुनि सब होहि सुखारे, मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, मोर मनोरथ जानहु नीके, बसहु सदा उरपुर सबहि के, बसहु सदा उरपुर सबहि के, कीन्हेउ प्रगटन कारण तेहि, कीन्हेउ प्रगटन कारण तेहि, अस कहि चरण गहे बैदेहि, अस कहि चरण गहे बैदेहि, विनय प्रेम बस भई भवानी, विनय प्रेम बस भई भवानी, खसी माल मूरति मुसुकानी, खसी माल मूरति मुसुकानी, सादर सिय प्रसादु सिर धरेउ, सादर सिय प्रसादु सिर धरेउ, बोली गौरी हर्षु हिय भरेउ, बोली गौरी हर्षु हिय भरेउ, सुनु सिय सत्य असीस हमारी, सुनु सिय सत्य असीस हमारी, पूजिहि मन कामना तुम्हारी, पूजिहि मन कामना तुम्हारी, नारद बचन सदा सुचि साचा, नारद बचन सदा सुचि साचा, सोभरु मिलिहि जाहि मनुराचा, सोभरु मिलिहि जाहि मनुराचा, श्री राम जय जय राम, 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 श्री राम जय जय राम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Satgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satgurum Pranatosmyaham Satgurum Pranatosmyaham. In the last set of verses, from 50th verse onwards, the student has met the teacher, and the teacher is very pleased with the student. He says, Dhanyaha asi, Krutakrutyah asi. You are indeed very blessed. Why are you blessed? He says, you have analyzed the nature of the world correctly. That world, which looks attractive for majority people, is looking like forest fire to you. That is the first congratulation note. That world, which looks like a source of joy, is looking like a forest fire for you, which means you have analyzed the world correctly. Now and then, for a world to look like forest fire is nothing great. It appears like that to everybody. But if somebody understands, finitude itself is like forest fire. Karma phalas coming in my life are like forest fire. I don't know which one is waiting to come. That mature thought, if somebody has, dhanyaha asi, that person is blessed. Then we have so many purusharthas. 3 of them are popular, dharma, artha, kama. To understand them as goal of life is also easy. But to understand moksha is also a purushartha. Moksha is also an important goal I should have in my life. Whoever gets that sincere desire is blessed. And the teacher remembers the qualifications of the student, the humility in his speech, all those things that he has said before. He says, because of all these qualities, you are indeed blessed. Means it's only a matter of time you are going to cross over. Preparation has been already done. This is the ripened student which the teacher is praising. Then we saw 51st verse through 53rd verse, which highlighted the importance of self-effort. They said for dharma, artha, kama, you can have somebody else do it for you. But moksha is something one has to do it oneself. Including sadhana for moksha, purity of mind, one has to gain it for oneself. Spiritual samskara, one has to gain it for oneself. So few examples were given. If father has a loan, son can pay it off. But if father wants moksha, son cannot give it to father. This we have to apply for all relations. We do sadhana for our spiritual unfoldment. Others getting inspired by it is a byproduct. And because we do sadhana, not necessarily others start doing. So both statements, you have to be very careful. Sometimes you'll hear people say, "Oh, I have told my child to do prayers every day. I pray every day, but he is not listening to me." You should remember that's Shankaracharya's verse. When it comes to spiritual journey, a child is on his own journey, we are on our own journey. Don't get dejected if the child is not doing something which you are doing. We can still keep praying to the Lord that may you give good sadbuddhi. And whenever He wants, we'll be surprised how anybody can change. Other side is also there. Some people might say, "I pray every day. Now my children also have started praying every day." That also is an erroneous statement. They are praying because Lord wanted them to pray. That unfoldment happened at the right time. Don't take credit. You know why? We cannot guarantee it for tomorrow. So when it comes to spiritual journey, Shankaracharya says, let us be very clear, we have to walk it ourselves. Others wanting to walk it will happen in its own time. We can do whatever we want, but neither get dejected nor get too elated because somebody else is doing something. Here example is given between son and father, but you can flip it around also. If son needs something, material things we can give. But if you want the son to have pure mind, love for God, you say he'll have to get it for himself. We cannot give it as an object. All we can give is surrounding atmosphere. Give that also as sadhana. And if it works, give credit to God. That is the main point here. Self-effort is needed for self-unfoldment. Then another example was, if there is weight on the head, somebody else can remove it for me. But if I am sorrowful because of hunger, I will have to eat it myself. And if I am sick, I have to follow the diet, take the medicine. Good health is seen in me. I am sick, somebody else does diet, somebody else takes medicine. My poor health, ill health will not go away. So all these examples were just to emphasize importance of self-effort. Guru, Bhagavan, they can only give us the conducive environment, conducive atmosphere. They cannot hand over moksha to us. More we think about this, we become free. What is it that is there in my hand, and what is it that I should allow Bhagavan to do? Then 54th verse spoke about first-hand experience is better than second-hand knowledge. So about this truth, some Pandita knows something, scholarly person is there, knows a lot. He says that will not remove our samsara. We will have to see this truth for ourselves. Not only hear about the truth, but see the truth. Just like somebody else describing beautiful moon doesn't do justice to seeing the moon yourself. So some saint describing about blissful nature of the self. Unless we let go of our own ego and mind and discover that self, they seeing it will not benefit in removing our samsara. Now the 55th verse has a very nice theme behind it. Let us chant the verse. Avidya-Kama-Karmadi Pashabandham vimochitum Kashaknuyad vinatmanam Kalpakotishatairapi Avidya-Kama-Karmadi Pashabandham vimochitum Kashaknuyad vinatmanam Kalpakotishatairapi. If somebody tells us you have to strive for liberation, many people think, am I bound right now? Why are they telling us strive for liberation, strive for liberation? My life is going well. There is no major calamity, chaos going on right now. Why do they keep on saying strive for liberation? If our hands are physically tied, legs are physically tied, that bondage we understand. But if you are happy moving around doing things, if somebody tells us, be free, what is the first clarity we should get? How am I bound? Shankaracharya in this verse says, all jivas are bound by an invisible rope. Rope is called as pasha. Pasha. I think it's a root word for passion. The passion that comes in mind is this pasha. Now rope will have 3 strands. What are these strands? First one is avidya, ignorance. From that ignorance, second strand is born, desire, kama. From that desire, second strand, third strand is born, karma, desire prompted actions. The later one is the effect, previous one is the cause. Now with this pasha, everybody is bound. Avidya-Kama-Karmadi pashabandham vimochitum. To free ourselves from this pasha, kashaknuyat vinatmanam, if we don't put forth effort, who else will free us from this bondage? Kalpakoti shatairapi, even if hundreds and thousands of years go by, still we will be bound by this pasha, rope of avidya, kama, karma. Now to understand this avidya, kama, karma, we need to think more about it, how it is a rope. If I tell you, I am ignorant, what should be your logical next question? Very good. Of what? I asked in some place, they said, of whom? I said, not that deep. I'm not asking whom ignorance belongs to, whom does ignorance belong to. I'm just asking if somebody says, I'm ignorant. Immediate question is, what are you ignorant? Are you ignorant of Japanese? Are you ignorant of math, physics? So here when it is said avidya, ignorance, which ignorance are we talking about? Ignorance of blissful nature of myself. That adjective blissful is important. When I think of myself, I don't feel there is any bliss here. He says that is our ignorance. If I forget although I experience it. Which state do I experience my blissful state? Sushupti, deep sleep. There is exalted bliss without any objects. But somehow in waking state I forget that I have a blissful facet in my personality. Once that avidya is there, once that ignorance is there, I cannot stop seeking bliss. So if I forget that I am nature of bliss, what is the only option? Where will I search for bliss? Outside, in the world of objects. Now that want of objects to be blissful, want for objects to be happy, what is the other name for it? Desire. This is a very deep aspect of desire. We only have desire for those things where we see joy. The moment we see sorrow in something, we will not want it. Think of it this way. You went to some social gathering, you met a friend, you had a good conversation, not a friend, acquaintance, first time you met him. And you had good conversation. You said exchange numbers, let's keep meeting. Second time you met, coffee shop. While talking you realize this person asks too many questions. Third time you met, got convinced, confirmed. Fourth time if he says, let's meet for coffee, what will you say? Maybe not today. That second meeting, we had desire to meet because we saw joy in the first meeting. Once that desire changed, once that conviction changed, desire also drops. But there are so many other things where we have desire because we feel being with that person, getting that thing will make us happy. Where is it born out of? Who is the father of desire? Ignorance. Because I forget my nature is bliss, I start seeking happiness outside. Now once that desire comes and I feel unless I get it, I will not be happy, what will I end up doing? I will go get it. That is called as action. So underneath all our actions, whatever name you might call it, there is an underlying desire to be happy. Objects we can understand. People we can appreciate. Why do we want certain people, want to stay away from certain people? Because of happiness. But think about it, even other actions that we are doing, bottom line is, I want to be happy doing it. We might call it as a duty. But look deep within. Am I getting joy from it? Somewhere I am. And those actions done with desire, they will strengthen more vasanas. And if that desire is very strong, and certain rules don't allow us to fulfill that desire, what will this person end up doing? Will he drop the desire or break the rule? Break the rules. So in the pursuit of fulfilling desire, this person gains punya and papa. That pushes him into more samsara. So already there is a lot of baggage here, which is pushing us into vasanas, pushing us into desires and actions gained from past lives. And we gather new in this life. Very diligently we contribute to this account. Saving account, Vasana account through different actions, different interactions, different objects. This is good, this will make me happy. Now, what is Vedanta saying? If we live our life only at this level, by doing something I will be happy, Vedanta says, analyze your own life and see whether actions done for happiness have really given us lasting happiness. If you want to test it, take one project, small project only, and have lot of hopes. I will do this, everything will happen the way I want, then I will be happy. And see the outcome. Not that we have not done it, we have done several times. Let's just take a simple example. Let's say you want to call your friends and family. And the idea is everybody will gather together, will spend time together, will be happy. If I am organizing that gathering for happiness, very quickly we have to understand it's a vulnerable action. Starting with who is going to come. People whom we like, they should be there. Those who may want to come, if they don't come, then also he is unhappy. Having come, they should all say good things. And let's say, with lot of effort, you made something. What do you want to make? Katahal, jackfruit. Raw jackfruit. You have to take it out, lot of effort, spice and everything you made, sabzi. After you served, nobody said a word. They were only discussing tariff, discussing IPL, and they went home. Now this person did everything, everybody came, but is unhappy. He says this is the condition of a jiva. And this is what we call as bondage. We are doing several things in life. We have done several things in life, and we will do many more things. What is the question Vedanta wants to ask us? Are you doing it for happiness? Or have you discovered your nature to be happiness? If somebody says, I am doing it for happiness, and I will handle my life such that I get only happiness, Vedanta wishes him well. He says, if you are successful, you become the guru, we will become your disciple. Such a thing is not possible. With karma, it will always be mixed results. So for a jnani, when they do anything, they are not doing it out of incompleteness. One step before that, before somebody does actions out of self-abidance, those are all divine actions. One step before that is, we can say, we are doing our actions to please the Lord. So once the Naivedyam is offered, the one who has to really eat has eaten. Then whether others like it or not, others have eaten or not, he says it doesn't matter. Main person whom I wanted to feed has been fed. If he is fed, just like Durvasa Rishi fed Bhagwan Krishna that one grain, Akshaya Patra, if he ate, everybody is full. So in pleasing the Lord, devotee doesn't worry about pleasing the world. To that extent, he is free. Now there is third step also. Somebody who is, people might be there who are not devotees. Neither they are abiding in this self, but you see them happy. If they organize a get together, people come, they are happy. People don't come, they are happy. People like, they are happy. If people don't like, they are happy. If there's somebody who enjoys to do that work, he will also be freed from this pasha to some extent. He says, I just love doing it. Not investing too much hope on somebody's endorsement. This is the quote that Gurudev has written. Don't put the keys of your happiness in somebody else's pocket. If we are bound by Avidya-Kama-Karma, if our actions are only prompted by desire born out of incompleteness, that I need to do this to be happy, then we are putting those keys in somebody else's pocket. But we have to appreciate, first of all, what is bondage? If I'm constantly seeking joy from others, from objects, that is my bondage. Because I will not get it. And how will Vedanta help me remove this bondage? When I do sufficient Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, gain the conviction that I am of the nature of bliss, then my seeking for bliss should stop. Okay, so that is the main question. Doing action, not doing action doesn't matter. What is the main question? Why am I doing that action? When I don't get what I want, do I get disappointed? Freedom from this disappointment is moksha. Next verse, Shankaracharya says, now he is talking to this student who is ready to gain this knowledge. He says, while you are walking on this path, you will learn several things. You might try some yoga, you might try some Sankhya philosophy, you will learn. You will do karma and upasana. All those are great. But remember, they by themselves are not going to give you moksha. So don't get stuck in between or start putting forth effort in the wrong direction. Strive to remove ignorance. Don't get carried away by the benefits of all other practices. The main theme of this verse is, congratulations, you are putting forth effort. But make sure you are putting forth effort in the right direction. See the next verse. Na yoge na sankhena karmana no na vidyaya brahmatmaikatva bodhena moksha siddhyati nanyatha. Na yoge na sankhena karmana no na vidyaya brahmatmaikatva bodhena moksha siddhyati nanyatha. Now the student might be exposed to 4 paths. First one is yoga. Yoga that we are familiar with is asana part of yoga. What this is referring to is the philosophy of yoga, Patanjali Maharshi's philosophy. Now one thing to note is, Shankaracharya is not criticizing yoga. What he's actually saying is, benefits of yoga happily take. If yoga gives you flexible body, the expertise of yoga darshana is how to quieten the mind, how to make the mind still. Great benefit. But will making the mind still give me moksha? He says no. What is your understanding of the mind? Is mind real or unreal? On paper, what is it? Means I've understood it to be unreal. That much is good enough. I'm striving to understand the mind to be unreal. You can say that. But Yoga Darshana says mind is real. You might have a quiet mind, but once meditation is over, that same mind will come back. So unless we strive to negate this mind and abide in the self, there is no moksha. Take the benefit of yoga, do the asanas, quieten the mind. In that quiet mind, bring Vedantic thought. Don't get carried away by this accomplishment of quietening the mind. It is an accomplishment, but that is not moksha. Na Sankhyena. Now this Sankhya is not the Prakriti Purusha mentioned in 13th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. This Sankhya is also not 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is this Sankhya referring to? Sankhya philosophy. And one beauty of Sankhya philosophy is they analyze this world very systematically. 24 aspects, they will cover whole creation. Can I use that facet in Vedantic study? Shankaracharya says, of course. Use it. But know that merely by analyzing world and consciousness separately, you will not get moksha. I have to understand world is an appearance in consciousness. So na Sankhyena. With Sankhya, there is no moksha. Third one is karmana. Karmana means by Vedic rituals. Benefits of Vedic rituals. One is it brings discipline. It brings purity of mind. Shankaracharya only said, Chittasya shuddhaye karma. If I have to bring purity of mind, I need actions. At home, if we do simple havan, it makes the home feel so pure. If you do it yourself, simple Gayatri havan, we feel we have become purer. So that purity it will give. But karma philosophy, karma kanda portion of Vedas, what is their understanding of moksha? They say going to higher worlds is moksha. Here Shankaracharya says, if we can abide in our blissful self, that itself is moksha. You don't have to go to any world. Ramana Maharshi says, that is the divine world where you abide in the divine. That world itself is divine world when you abide in the divine. So if somebody is telling us, you will get better thing after dropping this body. He said that moksha is conditioned moksha, it is not absolute. So by karma and upasana, vidyaya means by upasana, also we will not get moksha. Upasana, what are the benefits? Single pointed mind. Expanded mind, chitta vishalata. See, vishalata sometimes we feel it's like stretching the mind. What vishalata means is, mind identifies with conditionings beyond this body. So when Upasaka says I, his I doesn't refer to only this conditioning. I refers to the whole creation. Without upasana, without knowledge, where will I refer to? Only this body. Upasana is expanding this understanding of I. Result of that upasana is he becomes more accommodative, becomes more loving. All of them are benefits. But still conditioning is there, duality is there. Until duality is protected, there is no moksha. Until duality is erased, there is no moksha. To the time duality is protected, bondage continues. That is the main essence over here. Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodhena Moksha Siddhyati na Anyatha. Only when we understand my essential nature is consciousness, which is the substratum of this universe. Until this knowledge takes place, moksha is not discovered. Siddhyati word is very beautiful. What it means is, moksha is not created. Moksha siddhyati. What is siddhyati? Consciousness is already there. I just become aware of my nature as consciousness. The traditional example given is of Karna. Karna story we all know, right? Kunti Mata goes and tells him, you are not Radheya, you are Kaunteya. And it is said Karna was behind a door when he heard this. Now the knowledge that he got, I am Kaunteya. Did some metamorphosis happen? That first he was Radheya, then slowly he became Kaunteya. He says, no. He was always Kaunteya. Kaunteya means what? Son of Kunti. Radheya means son of Radha. He was always son of Kunti, but he thought himself to be Radheya. What did that knowledge do? It only did siddhi of something which was already a fact. It did not make him Kaunteya. So knowledge doesn't make us Brahman. Knowledge only tells us Brahman is my essential nature. I was always Brahman even when I thought I was bound. That is why the word Siddhyati is important. Vedantic knowledge doesn't create moksha. Now the next verse is a metaphor which looks simple, but you don't know what is Shankaracharya referring to. You see the metaphor. Vinaya rupa saundaryam tantri vadana saushthavam prajaranjana matram tat na samrajyaya kalpate. Vinaya rupa saundaryam tantri vadana saushthavam prajaranjana matram tat na samrajyaya kalpate. Vinayaha rupa saundaryam. Person purchased a beautiful veena, golden veena, gems studded on it. Tantri vadana saushthavam. Learned to play it very well and gave a stage performance. Standing applause, standing ovation. But prajaranjana matram tata. It is only good to entertain people. Na samrajyaya kalpate. He is not called a king because of that. Did you understand the metaphor? There is one background. There is some background to this. If you appreciate that, whole metaphor will become clear. The etymology of Raja, king. Etymology is Prakriti Ranjanat Raja. Prakriti Ranjanat means one who keeps people happy. One who entertains people, keeps them happy, gives them joy. That person is called Raja. This is a leadership tip. Kalidas ji, he mentions this definition. Whoever wants to be a leader will have to understand emotions of the people he is leading. Either he is leader in some group or he might be a politician. What do? Politicians keep people happy. Moment politician says, I don't care what people feel, I will do what I want. He says he might be called a boss, but he is not a leader. He is not ruling over people's heart. The Vanaras who are there, technically speaking, their king was Sugriva. But in Hanuman Chalisa, Kapisha, Isha means ruler of Kapis, is Hanumanji. So the one who is able to rule over the heart becomes a leader. One who is able to keep people happy. One who is able to entertain. That is the etymology of Raja. Now somebody read this Kalidasa dictionary, got this definition. He said, okay, Raja is somebody who entertains. What did he do? Went and got a veena. Beautiful veena, golden veena, studded with gems. Veenayaha Rupa Saundaryam. Then learned how to play it. Tantri Vadana Saushthamam, plays it very well. But Shankaracharya says, because that person plays the veena, entertains people, he cannot be called a king. Because to be a king, you need to entertain people. You need to keep them happy. But there are some additional qualifications. You need valor, you need to be able to have a treasury, go and fight with the enemy. Then you are called a king. Do you know what is the connection here with the main point? He says, previous verse, whatever accomplishments were mentioned. Accomplishments from yoga, sankhya, karma, upasana. All these accomplishments are great accomplishments. And it might draw praise from outside. But he says those accomplishments by themselves have nothing to do with moksha. Prajaranjana matram tat nasam rajyaya kalpate. That person might draw praise from the world, but because of those accomplishments, you cannot say he is liberated. What were the accomplishments? Quiet mind, peaceful mind. With karma and upasana, lot of success outside. So before, what was his state? It was a disturbed mind. Now what is his state? Quiet mind. But remember, okay, I'll ask you this question. Why Shankaracharya is saying that quiet mind state is not the absolute? Because jivatva is still there. When mind was disturbed, he was called disturbed jiva. Now when mind is quiet, what is he called? Quiet jiva. When he was not that popular, he was ordinary jiva. Now he has become very popular. What is he? Popular jiva. Shankaracharya says, unless that jivatva is erased, popularity might bring us worldly praise. Or any accomplishment might bring us worldly praise. It means nothing for moksha. That is this main verse, strive to be a real seeker. But that metaphor is wonderful. Entertainment. So Raja does Ranjanam. On Mahatmaji he says, whenever we hear satsang, avidya bhanjan should happen. But many a times we look for manoranjan. So manoranjan रह जाता है, avidya bhanjan छूट जाता है. Entertainment remains, the main purpose of removing ignorance gets left out. Shankaracharya is telling that student, be very careful. Don't get sidetracked with other accomplishments. You might be popular, but it means nothing for moksha. Next verse, he is as though warning the student. He says, one day you might start teaching. But be very careful when you teach. You see what he says. Vagvaikhari shabdajhari Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam Vaidushyam Vidusham Tadvat Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye Vagvaikhari Shabdajhari Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam Vaidushyam Vidusham Tadvat Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. The main essence of this verse is words that don't produce knowledge in our heart are futile. Words that don't produce knowledge are futile. So who is this orator? He is talking about an eloquent orator. Vagvaikhari. Vagvaikhari means he uses words which are very simple to understand. There is eloquence in his speech. And Shabdajhari. Shabdajhari means just like a river flows, words are flowing. He has chaupais, Ramcharitmanas chaupais, Kabir dohas, metaphors, examples. Everything is there in his pocket. You give him a topic, he will give. And sometimes if it is mother tongue, Shabdachari is even better. Even small items, food item. One place I was visiting in India, somebody served khichdi. He said, khichdi ke hai char yaar, dahi papad ghee achar. That is Shabdachari. Everything you give, some doha is there, some chaupai is there. Very eloquent. Now he says, somebody might be using good speech, very eloquent, and Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam. Every word is able to analyze. Goes into the grammatical explanation, rearranges the statement, Sanskrit perspectives, multiple meanings he gives. But Shankaracharya says, if the purpose of doing all this, if it is not to abide in the self, if the purpose is something extroverted, then the second line, such kind of scholarliness, Vaidushyam Vidusham Tadvat, Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. It will give us bhoga, it will not give us moksha. What is the bhoga here? Praise from the world. And whatever other bhoga which might come because of that, it will become some kind of indulgence. It will not give us liberation. Teacher is telling the student, be very careful. How eloquently you can speak on Vedanta has nothing to do with moksha. What was the stage before? Ordinary speaker of Vedanta. What is the stage now? Eloquent speaker of Vedanta. What should you add? Ordinary jiva, eloquent jiva. So Shankaracharya is saying, make sure the metric is only one. What do you think of yourself? Means when you say I, where does your I land? When you see this world, where do you see it? Do you see it outside or do you see it in you? And when you think of yourself, Do you think of yourself as finite being or pervading this world? Morning class we saw, 4th and 5th verse, 9th chapter. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. If this statement Bhagavan Krishna is saying, what is liberation? Sadhaka should be able to say this for himself. I pervade this world. I am substratum of this world. Says that will test how identified we are with conditionings. Bhuktaye natu muktaye. The 4th devotion in Ramcharitmanas is Chauti bhagati mama guna gana karai kapata taji gana. Shankaracharya is not against sharing this knowledge. What he says is, don't have any extroverted goal while sharing this. Even if some extroverted thing comes. 4th form of devotion is singing glories of the Lord without any deceit, without any extroverted goal. If you want to say in English, this verse is telling us, strive to be a good seeker, not a speaker. Speaking has nothing to do with your seeking. And words that don't produce knowledge are meaningless. In English, they have a metaphor, right? The golden ladle doesn't know the taste of the soup. Ladle is wonderful. It's in the soup. Golden also. But it cannot taste the soup. Similarly, words which don't point to the self are not fulfilling their purpose. So that is something we have to keep asking. If I am studying Shastra, why am I studying it? To remove ignorance? To teach somebody else? Or to add another feather on my cap? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.